When you have pits and scratches in those hard to get areas, sometimes you look around and it's like, how am I going to get in there to clean that up? Earlier this week, we talked about creating an end sanding tool to get into those hard to reach places. Today, I'm going to talk about creating another tool that will help you get into some tight areas with some scratches and maybe pits. And it's kind of like called a power burnisher. So I create those just from broken burrs and extra pieces that I have laying around. So let's dive in. Okay, so I've got this piece here, and right along this edge has got some scratches and pits and stuff. And I can try and get in there with a file, but sometimes there's other tools that you can do just to kind of blend all that stuff in. So what I do is I create my own burnisher, and I refer to them as like a power burnisher. So here I've got just a couple of old burrs. One of them is broken, the other one is just dull. I don't use it anymore. So I'm going to utilize those and create a tool that will get in there and clean that up for me. I've mentioned before that I never throw away burrs and things because I can always repurpose them for different things. I've got this my bucket of used burrs and stuff, and sometimes I throw them away because you can collect more than you'll ever use. But I've probably got 40 or 50 of them in there of different shapes and sizes that from time to time I'll rummage through, and it's like, okay, I need to make a specific tool out of tool steel, and the burrs are hardened steel, so they work really well. So today I'm going to show you how to make some little power burnishers out of these burrs, and I think you will enjoy them. So let's dive in. I'll see if I can pull this up. And so the first thing I'm going to do is the one that's kind of, it's dull. It just doesn't have any teeth left. So I am going to chop off the little bulber end because it's useless. This is a separating disc. This one is a really thin one, but it's like impregnated with fibers just to make it a little bit stronger. So I'm going to just cut through the metal. I'm not going at a real high rate of speed, just nice and slow. And just about there all the way through, and then I can actually just snap that off, just so that I can keep track of those pieces so they don't go flying. And I can take that and just throw it in my garbage can. So now I've got this burr here, this X burr. Now it's just a piece of metal. So I am going to take my snap-on sanding disc. This is kind of a medium grit abrasive, and I'm going to cut or sand facets in this thing. So as I'm cutting this, I'm going to cut a facet and then rotate it a little bit, cut a facet. So I'm going to probably put 6 to 8 facets all around this thing. And when I'm doing this, if you notice, the sanding disc is on the outside. So when I'm sanding, all of the debris and the dust is going away from me. I can do it this way with the sanding disc on the inside, but then it's blowing all of that metal and stuff in my face. And as many times as I can, I always try to be conscious of which way the dust and the fibers and all that stuff are going, because I want to try and keep them away from me as much as possible. I mean, I wear dust masks from time to time if there's situations where I can't avoid it, but whenever I can avoid it, I always try and make the dust go away from me. So I'm just gonna cut these facets in there. I don't know if you can see that, but there's just one facet right there. And then I'm going to take this and rotate it. Cut another one. And rotate it again. And I'm rotating it probably, I don't know what degrees it is, but again, there's probably going to be 6 to 8 different angles that I'm cutting into. I'm just flattening a spot and then rotating it a little bit. I'm mentally counting. I'm on number 7 right now. And there's number 8. It looks like it's going to be eight different facets on this. So I don't know if you can see that or not, but I'm going to rotate that and you can see there's all these little facets on there. Now I'm just going to kind of go in and just kind of define them a little bit more. Okay, so again, there's just all these little flat angles on there. So when this is spinning, it will it'll like burnish. So now the very tip is kind of sharp, so I'm just going to soften that up a little bit, just because I don't want that to get into the metal and start cutting and digging. So what I'll also do is take this, put it in my handpiece. And the piece of sandpaper, this is like 400 grit sandpaper. So I'm just going to soften up the end a little bit, just so that it's not as sharp, because I don't want it to necessarily cut into the metal. I want it to kind of blend the metal. So what's happening is when this is rotating over the metal, it's actually just kind of pushing the metal and just kind of just mushing it into certain areas. So and you can see there, it's just a little spinning tool. So now we can take this and get into those hard to get areas. And what it's doing is it's burnishing that area that had the defects in it. Let's see if I can get a close-up picture of what's going on here. So what you can see is there was some pits and some scratches in there. And what I'm doing is just using this power burnisher just to kind of push the metal around and just kind of smooth out that area, burnish it. So you can kind of see it's just, you can get into the hard to get areas real tight, and just kind of, as you're doing this, make sure you're moving the tool back and forth. You don't want to keep it in one place, because then it'll actually burnish a groove into the metal. So just move it around real fast, and just kind of, you can see what it's doing, and then just kind of blend the metal and just kind of mushroom it around a little bit so that it blends the metal over the defects that you want to get rid of. Now, if you got really deep pits and stuff, you're going to have to take care of that another way, either through filling them with solder, or if you have a laser machine, you can fill them with a laser. But this just kind of goes in and just kind of cleans that area. And then I've also got some small burnishers as well that don't have grooves. They're nice and smooth and they're polished. So then you can actually get in there and kind of rub the metal, and it'll burnish it and shine it up that way as well. So that's one way. And then you can make different sizes of these burnishers as well. I've got some big ones. I've got some really fine ones. See if I can find one here. There's another one that's real small. And I've got some that are larger as well. So different areas that you're working in, you're going to need different size tools. So I've got probably a dozen of those in different sizes and different shapes that I use from time to time whenever I'm working on a piece of metal that has like a deeper scratch or a pit that you can kind of fix without using heat or torch or anything like that. So hopefully that helps a little bit. Like I said, earlier this week we talked about getting in those hard to get areas with an end sanding tool that we made out of an old end brush. If you haven't seen that video, I will put a link at the end of this video so you can go watch that one as well. That one came out just a couple of days ago. And then again, I keep my bin of broken tools, the little burrs and stuff like that, kind of like the island of misfit toys. This is the bucket of misfit broken burrs that I repurpose over time. So I would suggest keep your burrs, don't throw them out, because you never know when you're going to need a tool that you can modify and make out of something that's going to cost you nothing. They do sell these power burnishers, but if you want to buy them, that's cool. But if you want to make them, that's even cooler, because it doesn't cost you anything but a couple of minutes, and you can see how they utilize. Now after this is all burnished, then I will come in with like a rubber wheel, and then you can kind of blend everything in. Let's see where we are here. Yeah, so then you can just kind of come in with a rubber wheel and blend in all of that metal. And then I'll go in with the first one was a black, kind of a medium wheel. This one is a pink silicone wheel. And it'll just kind of get in there and put a good shine to it. And then you can, after this, you can take it to your polishing machine. But it's definitely much better than it was. So hopefully that gives you some ideas what you can do with some broken burrs. And again, look at those areas, those tight areas that you have defects in that you want to get out of, and look around at the tools that you have and say, how can I accomplish what I want with the tools that I have in front of me? And that's one of the best things I can teach as a jewelry teacher is adaptation. Because sometimes you're sitting there and you get this task and it's like, oh, I don't have this specific cool tool that they sell online, so I can't do it. It's like, no, you sit there and you stare at it and you say, these are the tools in front of me. How am I going to accomplish the task that I have with the tools that are in front of me? And 100 times out of 100, you can figure it out. So that's your tip of the day. Using broken stuff that you have around to accomplish the tasks that you want. So thanks again for stopping in. Remember, Fridays, 8 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, we have a live stream here on YouTube, just questions and answers, and we just kind of hang out. So set your alarm, and hopefully you can stop in. Usually we're here for 15 to 20, 25 minutes, somewhere in there. And usually it's a great time. So if you get a chance, stop on by. We'll see you then. Take care. This is Doug with the Jewelry Monk Studio.